How to buy land online. Well, let me take that back. How to invest into farmland without owning the farm. So we're going to go through three ways you can invest into farmland without owning the farm. So you got three ways to invest in farmland without owning the farm with yours truly, Prince Dykes. But before we jump into it, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and make sure you
hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit that like, comment, and share button.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me first talk about how did I even come up with this topic today. So, what I was doing was looking at the current. Let's go right here. So, why land? So, look at the current state that we're in. We're looking at a place where there is very high inflation that is tearing up the economy. Right? 1 second here. So, we have inflation tearing up the economy, right? And what I mean by us having inflation tearing up the economy, when we just pumped out a bunch of money into the market, things like that. Everybody's talking about inflation, how bad it is, and stuff like that. So I was thinking, as an investor, what are some ways you can benefit from inflation, right? What are some things that are going to go up naturally from inflation? So one of the places I looked at was real estate, right? We have a booming real estate market right now. We have houses, but y'all see me make videos on land, how I felt like land was the most disrespected asset along with Apple stock that was out there. So when I started to look around, I said, well, how can I buy some land? So, ladies and gentlemen, I brought land online and I showed you guys and girls how to do that step by step here on the show. And then I also showed people, I've never done it myself yet, with buying tax liens. I show people how to do that as well. So then I looked into it. So I said, well, what are some ways I can do it online that could be a little bit more accessible? So as I was searching around, these are three ways that I discovered. So the first one we're going to go over is land REITs. So land REITs. Land is also, if you are catching this live, y'all drop a comment, tell me where you're from and all of this stuff like that. So shout out to my guy, Al, who's in the comments. What's going on, Al? Let's sip and talk with Ms. Freeman. She's in here too. So yeah, definitely if you're in here, live, be a part of the conversation as we talk about this today. So land REITs. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. So right here, this REIT I'm looking at is called, let me make sure I'm sharing the 10Q because we're going to go through the 10Q. This is called Gladstone Land Incorporation. Well, not incorporation, but corporation. Gladstone Land Corporation. And land, LAND, is actually the stock symbol if you wanted to purchase this particular REIT. I'm going to give you the pros and cons of doing this as well. So now the first thing I said, well, okay, let's see what this company is all about. So right here, I have recently pulled up their 10Q. So this is their 10Q. This is their quarterly report that came out, I want to say about a week or so ago or something like that. So let me see if I can stroll down here to the business and let's take a look at the business and see how this company does business. So when I was looking at this, where's that? Why is it want to hide now? It want to give me all the financial information. But when I was looking for the financial information the other day, it was trying to hide from me. But it's okay. We're going to find it. Let's go to our table of contents. It's probably going to take us right back here. I think it was right up on the risk factors. Yeah, we went through the risk factor. So let me pull this up so you can see it for yourself if you're looking for it. So you can find this by going to either Land's investor relations, look at the 10Q, or you can go to the sec.gov. So no, I don't want to read the purchasing agreements. They ain't trying to give me the runaround, but I'm going to tell you what this company does. Essentially what this company does is it goes out and it buys farmland. That's what it does. It goes out, it buys farmland, and then it turns around and it rents the land to farmers. So, naturally, when I saw farmland, I automatically suspected that the land was purchased. I thought the farmer owned the land and they farmed the land. Not so fast. So what a lot of farmers are obviously doing, farmers are going out and they are renting the land, growing the crop, selling the crop. So what this company does, this real estate investment trust, it just piles together a bunch of money. And what it does is it goes out and it finds farmland with the intention of legally just going out to not listed, but to go out and rent it to someone else. So that's what this company does. So the thing I like about this company right here, it has a total assets of 1.2 billion that are here. So what they do is they go out, they buy land and they pretty much rent it to farmers to go out and farm their crops. And I said, okay, the thing that I'm looking at with this company is I said, well, if they have 123, it was something like 123,000 or something like that. If they had went out and bought all this land, they bought all this land and they're leasing it to farmers, right? If they own all this land and they're leasing it to farmers, the farmers are creating the cash flow. So the farmers are creating the cash flow with their paying off in dividends at 2% currently. So the asset itself, the land, is growing in value. So you have land that is growing in particular value. So if you purchase, for prime example, I own a piece of land, like you always heard famously from Robert Kiyosaki, your house is a liability, not an asset. And it's true, false. So yes, on my income statement, my house is a liability. Every month, I do not make money off my house. I actually pay a mortgage. So it is a liability on my income statement. Now, if you look at my balance sheet, if you go to my balance sheet, which lists all my assets and liabilities, my house would be an asset because my house is worth more than what I particularly owe on it. So, and that's what the equity would show. So right here, when you're looking at this, they are generating income from leasing out the farmland. And then by them holding the farmland and buying this farmland, the land itself has to be increasing in value, especially with this hot real estate market, especially with all these interest rates and things like that. So you go back and you look at this stock performance, and the stock has performed 65%, has gone up 65% in this year alone. Now, all sounds pretty good. I don't want to go to beat a dead horse and get into it. But the thing about it also, here we go here. Let me see what y'all say in the comment. What's going on, Max B? Max B saying land is a great one. Lieutenant Lawson, he says, hey, teacher, what's going on, Lieutenant Lawson? So now with them buying this land, they are on the balance sheet that we're looking at here. This land right here, this real estate is at 1.1 billion that they're reporting in real estate. So they got $1 billion worth of real estate. Now you go down here to the income statement. When you stroll down to the income statement, here it go, lease revenue. They made last year in thousands, $16 million in revenue just from, leasing their properties out, right? So the income is coming from leasing it out. The asset is actually the land. So when I look at something like that, I say, I like this. And especially you're tying into what's going on in the economy with inflation, you can see this actually going up in itself. All right. So this is the one that I really, really like myself particularly. Now, the downside to REITs is when I looked at last year when the market crashed. Y'all remember last year when the market crashed? When we had the pandemic scare go on in March of last year, everything went down. So did this particular REIT. Why did this REIT go down? Because everything was disrupted. So for prime example, land value in real estate hasn't taken a hit because of the pandemic, but this REIT took a hit. This REIT went all the way down to $10, right? It went all the way down to $10 when there was nothing that happened with the land value. That's one thing I don't like about REITs is it's too closely correlated to the stock market. Even though real estate did great in 2020, if you look at the REIT market, they got hammered during the pandemic, right? Now, that was a great time to buy a bunch of REITs, but that's how it looked, all right? The next one is you can go out and you can find stocks. So I'm going to pull up one stock here. Y'all give me 1 second here. Let me share my screen. How do y'all like my new little skin that I added on here? Trying to get a little bit better. 1 second. So you have a couple stocks here. This is one stock here, fresh FDP. FDP. This is the Fresh Deli Monte Produce or whatever. So when I looked at this company here, I just kind of like that its business is pretty much about food, about chopping up food and things like that. But it hasn't performed as well as the particular land REIT has done so far this year. But this is another way you can invest. So number one, you have your land REITs that are out there that I pulled up, one that I like a lot. Land. Where am I at on here? Let me get back to where I was. So the next one is a stock, FDP. Now you can find plenty of stocks out there that probably produce, cut down, do something with land, land or food, right? So or farmland. Because guess what? When a farmer grows it, a farmer has to have an ecosystem, something I learned from Mr. Michael V. Roberts. So sometimes we're just worried about the farmer, but you also have to pay attention to, guess what? Somebody has to come over there and pick up the strawberries. They have to put them in buckets. Somebody probably is making the buckets. Somebody's probably making the tools that pick up the strawberries. You got to pick up the strawberries. You got to rinse them off and clean them. I'm guessing. I don't know the whole process. Throw some chemicals on them like they do most of the time. And then somebody has to do the distribution. How do those strawberries get to the grocery store? There has to be some type of ecosystem. Who puts the sticker and says these are such and such strawberries? So there's a whole ecosystem of companies that are involved with this. So this company right here, this FTP, this is through subsidiaries, produces and distribution of fresh cut fruits, veggies in North America, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, international. It offers fresh and valuable added produce such as pineapples, melons, grapes, apples, citrus, blueberries, all type of stuff. So they pretty much just distribute food. Not as bad, but I don't like it as more than I like that land REIT. But that's another way you can do it. You can look into stocks that jump into that. Another one is you have your, did I put that up here twice? Your ETFs, exchange traded funds, right? Here we go. Max B said the land will need water to PHO. You're right. Land will need water. So what else will a farmer need? What are some things that he needs? He needs distribution. He needs, well, of course, he's going to need some rain and water and stuff like that or whatever, but he's going to need distribution. Does somebody provide fertilizer? You can look into fertilizer companies, all type of things. So now you have the next one is the land ETF. Where did I write this one down? I wrote down one particular stock symbol. Yeah, that's what it was. SOYB. SOYB, soybean. So when you look at this one, I'm on Yahoo Finance right now. You hit the profile button, and when you get to the profile button, it's going to where we're at here. Of course, my screen wants to act up. Scroll down. Okay. All right. So, no, am I in the profile? Yeah, I'll give me 1 second. We can go to the top 10 holdings of the company. So this is another SOYB. It's an ETF that tracks a lot of farmland stocks inside of it. The top 5 holdings are here. It's a bunch of soybean in here. Then it has a Goldman Sachs ETF and a First American Government ETF as well. But it's a bunch of soybeans in here, a bunch of gardening food. So the thing about it, I'm just trying to raise your attention to an ETF. I looked at this ETF, nothing too crazy about this ETF. I didn't see anything that was too that caught my eye that said, oh, wow, I really love this ETF. It was just kind of okay. But it's another way. So you can invest into it with you can use an ETF. You also can use stocks, and also you can use a REIT. So the ETF is $23. The stock runs around $31 that I mentioned. And the ETF runs about $23. So yes. So when I look at this, the one that I like the most, the soybean one ETF out of the stock, the one I like the most, I like the Gladstone Land ETF. Probably, I won't say the most, but that's the one I'm kind of like pretty interested in, that if I was to make a move, I'll make a move. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not financial advice. Definitely not. This is an educational / entertainment tool for tools to be in your toolbox, for ways to look out there to invest for yourself. All right. So let me see. What are y'all saying in the comments? Oh, Al, you got a good point. You said tractors. That's definitely John Deere's another one. John Deere is one. I forgot that one. John Deere was another one. You're going to need tractors in order to farm the land. So especially with all of these things that's going on, right? We have in this world today, everybody's talking about us losing money and we're losing food and vaccinations and pandemics and all of the stuff like that. We're going to need food. We're going to need food. We're going to have water. We're going to need the logistics for the food and the water. We're going to need tractors. We're going to need fertilizer. We're going to need labels, all those type of things. All right. So those are the things I want you guys and girls to say. Oh, we got Lucky's mom's in here. She said, good evening, Prince. Thank you for the info. What's going on, Lucky's mom? Lucky's mom is down there in Duval County. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the thing I want to talk to you guys and girls about tonight. Y'all stay tuned for my next episode. Y'all know already. Make sure you grab that Wesley Learns book series and grab your Investor Show mug so you can read these Investor Show financial reports like a genius, right? So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys and girls got something out of that. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And until the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy y'all see me doing around the globe, my name is Prince Dykes. I'm the Prince of Investing. Peace. Be safe. I'm out, and thank you.